Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is still the press on KAFTAN television and we are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. Well, right now I've been joined by two amazing people in the studio to analyze some of the headlines that made it to our national dealings. And of course, let me also remind you that this is the conversation segment where you can of course call in to give in your contribution or ask a question, but mind you, you have just about 60 seconds to do that. Well, to my right I have Masha who is the sports deputy director, and of course to my left I have Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, who is North Central Zonal Coordinator of APC Awareness Forum. Gentlemen, you're both welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you join us this morning.
Same here.
Let me start by asking, we know that it's been weeks, or let me say days, of the nation or the Nigerian country being in tension due to the nationwide hunger protest. And obviously, the way it looks from Abuja here, people are beginning to get back to their normal lives, businesses and work, of course. But before we see some of the headlines that made it to our national dealings, what is your take about the hunger protest?
To be fair to Nigerians, I said this earlier this week on Monday. Yes, there's hunger in the land, no doubt about that. But the protest in the first place wasn't necessary. And I say this, why wasn't it necessary? Is because, yes, protest is the right of every citizen, no doubt, is in the Constitution. But we should also know that where your own rights stop, that's where another person's rights starts. And because of the complexity of our nation, we all knew that it was not going to give the needed result because it was going to be hijacked along the line. And we can see that it has cost us more harm, it has done more damage to the economy than even what they intended to achieve at the end of the day. Yes, there's hunger. Government is doing everything possible to make sure that Nigerians are fine. I think the president is a listening one, because at the close of my section on Monday, I said it, that the president is the father of the nation. He should not listen to his aides. He should come and speak to the people. The people needs to hear from him. I think there's a video that started flying on the internet since the day before yesterday and yesterday, where the president was appealing to the people to give him more time to deliver. The president.
Sorry to cut you short. You said the president said the people should give him more time, and let's not just even go the statistic of a Nigerian inflation rate, because we all know from all of a sudden from 28% to about 40% now and even more. And you said the president is saying that people should give him more time. Of course, people are going to give him more time, but with his 1 year in office, everything seems to have gone beyond what was expected. And how much more time do you think Nigerians should give Mr. President, considering the rate of hunger, insecurity, and everything that is happening in Nigeria as we speak?
Now, before the coming of this administration, it has been, what we are going through today did not start now. Did not start in the previous administration. Did not even start in Jonathan's administration. Okay. It was a problem that has been on for a long period of time, and you don't expect it to be fixed in just 1 year. I remember in 2014, I always say this, when the Jonathan administration, at the tail end of the Jonathan administration, the Minister of Finance and the coordinating Minister of the Economy, then Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, came out to say it categorically that whoever is going to take over from Jonathan, if you don't put in a proper economic policy, Nigeria is heading for the doom. And here we are. I could remember in this country when Jonathan said he was going to save for the rainy day, the same governor, 36 governors, sued the federal government up to Supreme Court to say, no, give us our money. See, the problem with Nigeria, and we should start telling Nigerians now, and is not with the president. The problem with Nigeria are with our governors. I tell people to take a leave from the governor of Kogi and the governor of Niger State. These two young men are doing excellently well. The government has, what people don't know is that from the time of the removal of subsidy till today, allocations going to state has tripled from what it used to be. Now we should start asking our governors, what are they doing with those money? Kogi State governor is doing excellently well. Niger State governor is doing excellently well. We could see projects and the rest of them. Worker salary in Kogi is no more an issue. Pensions are no more an issue. Projects are going on. In Niger, the same thing. What are the remaining 34 governors doing with the money getting to them? Lagos State is also doing excellently well too. Then you look at what Lagos State governor is doing. And so we should start asking questions. If you look at this protest, the heat was in the north. And why? Because in the north, the level of out of school children is alarming. I had Nasarawa State governor saying that 85% of those who came out to protest were largely children, even up to 7-5 years old. And if you ask them what were they protesting for, they don't even know. So it is high time the governors up north sit up and begin to use the money for the people, and do things to better the lives of the people.
All right, I'll come back to you, but shortly before then, Mashallah, let me say.
Sidi Ali.
Sidi Ali, Mashallah. Okay, let me say. Did you think that this protest, this hunger protest, achieved its objective?
First of all, I want to say good morning all to our viewers. Your question, you have viewed at the right point, since today is the output of the protest. This protest, we can say that it have an output, but before seeing the output or before seeing the objective that the protest has caused, we had to look from the beginning and see the root cause of the protest. Okay. This protest is the first protest that happened in Nigeria under social media. There's no any meeting that have been held in any town hall meeting or any meeting that have a physical conversation. It was fixed in the social media. It was created by a content. It's just a fix of people that just come and put it into a rule. But we haven't seen this kind of protest before. Protest supposed to be in a process that you people who are the leaders of the protest supposed to come collectively together and go and meet the IG or one of the government agency that is willing to sit with people and write an agreement in case of the output. Because take a look and see how the protests have already caused, how this negative way has gone. Look at Kano State, look at Jigawa. People have been vandalized, people have been broke into their own, people have broke into people's market, people like them masses, they have already still take things without any legal or any correct way. So if you look at it, that one have already caused a negative force. It has caused a negativity in the nation. But when you look at the positivity and the objective of it is that this is for the first time that Nigerians are together, irrespective of the north, south, east, every 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. People have met together. Even in the social media, we have been seeing people have not been saying this is a religion, this is ethnicity. They put their hands together and put the meeting. Before doing the meeting, 2 days to the meeting, even the president of the country has called on all the ulamas and the bishops and the governors and the Senate president, House Speaker, all together and started doing meetings with them, started looking for output. This has shows that Nigeria, when it's come to raise of voice, they are trying their best. But we don't want a protest that will come without any organizational or constitutional requirements. A protest will just take over by some people outside of the country. We say that Nigerians, as my brother said, that Nigerians are free to go for their own protest, but it has to be with a procedure and it has to be with a plan and a standable and sensitive options or objectivity that you can come with it in the table. Up till today, before the meeting, you have no one single person that raised as a leader of the protest that have put hand for the process in case that if something happen, he's going to take the consequences. There is no any way of that. But still, with that, Mr. President has given a listening ear. So it needs to the ears to the people, as he used to do during campaign times. He has listened to all what has been happening. He has already produced so many things that will go and life will be suitable after the protest. Like, for example, the $100 billion that he have, $100 billion naira that he approved for the farmers in the northern Nigeria, for 50 million farmers that are not financially strong, in order for them to help them and promote things. Again, look at the Ministry of Information, so technical IT, led by Minister Boshin Tujani. Today, they have already removed some money in order to help people in a digital world, in order to prove them at the dying minute of the protest, before the process takes place. So there are many things that the process has caused in terms of vocalization and in terms of physical work that government is going to pull out from today to, we are thinking, to the remaining days, inshallah, of the government.
Okay, now before the protest, one major demand is what the Nigerians are requesting of the president. And the president, what is that demand? The Nigerians are demanding that the president, Mr. President, will reverse back of the fuel subsidy. And now, this morning, this is coming from a New Telegraph newspaper. It has the bold headline here that says Nigerians deserve to know the truth about fuel subsidy removal. Are we back to paying subsidy? Because there's this rumor going around that the federal government is back to paying subsidy. We don't know, but this is coming from Bode George, and he says Nigerians deserve to know if we are back to paying subsidy or we are not, because from every indication, it doesn't look as if we as if the fuel subsidy removal is adding any impact. So what would you say to that regard?
Since you say it's from Chief Bodijoj is a father to us, is a father to the nation, but we know that Chief Bodijoj is serious critical about this government since before President Asoja became today. No, let me go to my point.
Are we back to paying subsidy? You don't think it best?
With reality, I mean, I don't know about that because I'm not a government official, but in terms of transparency and what government has done, we all know that the subsidy have been removed, but there are some package that you cannot remove it all. It's not 100%, I think so. The president on his inaugural day, he said it publicly that the subsidy is gone. That's what I'm using, and you cannot say with that after the removal of the subsidy there is not any positive impact. I believe there is a negative impact of this inflation rate, and it started since in 80s. When you look at the SAP structural adjustment program that happened under the administration of Ibrahim Babangida, Naira have been devalued, subsidies have been removed, government properties have been privatized, so many things and so many things have already happened that lead us to this way.
Sorry, so I will have to cut you here. Let's hold it here and hear from this caller before you keep on with your analysis. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Glad to have you join us. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Mazio Krapo from Aruchukwu in Ajes.
Mazio Krapo, you have just 60 seconds.
There's no problem. You see, the issue of Port Harcourt refinery, we have been hearing about their stories every day. They should tell us not to delay it so that at least in these few days they are telling us now we'll have excess fuel everywhere, even kerosene that is just at something you cannot see. But it's a very, very shameful thing that Nigeria will go to the Olympia and start borrowing bicycle. For this type of, I'm asking, does it mean we don't have bicycle repairers in Nigeria, or we don't have bicycle where they sell bicycle where we can even borrow from Nigeria before going to that? It's a very shameful. Giants of Africa going to borrow bicycle and that nationality. Look, federal government should escape very well. What happened? Does it mean the bicycle means on transit or the plane did not arrive with the bicycle or did not arrive? Good morning, Mazio Krapo from Aruchukwu.
Good morning, Mazio Krapo. Do have yourself a great day and thank you for calling.
It's all about the availability of money.
Good morning.
So, yeah, good morning. Sorry, let me call you. Hello? Good morning, ma.
Good morning. Glad to have you join us. So your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Pocho. I am calling from Kebbi State.
Ibrahim, please go ahead. And you have just 60 seconds.
Okay. I want to start with the first speaker that mentioned the whole lot about the good plans of the president of the nation in order to bring the lasting solution to what we are facing today.
All right.
And we all know that even if we are going to spend like a day or two discussing about the issues that warrant the protest to go on street, it has to do with only one thing. And that one thing is well known to us. All the billions of naira that the president has been signing, approving to the state governors to this, to ease the pain of the people, has not achieved anything. And that happens because of the nature and the attitude of our leaders and the attitude of our people. Whereby whenever things are released to go to the masses, it will end up to the hands of those that collected it from the president. So if that is the case, we all know that this is where the leakage is coming from. Why can't we block the leakage rather than using the bucket frequently to block the water? So why can't the president go back and look at the subsidy issue? Because that is where it is going to benefit those that are living in the outskirts of the country, those that cannot access where the monies are going to come. Let's take example of the rice that you mentioned during your reading of the newspaper head that the ministry has suspended the sales of the 40,000 rice bags and all of that. And coming back to the to the issue of the second speaker, who said that the Protestant has not come to a table of understanding and then discuss and plan how to protest. That is okay, and we all know that the reason why the wait for protest has been well notified. So it is not the issue of coming together, and nobody is going to come on board. If you look at what happened on the states, some of the state governors call on the leaders of the groups that are supposed to speak for the people and sat those people down. Probably they discuss something that maybe they are going to set them or settle them. Let them come out and think that they have disengaged themselves from the protest and what have that. All has been observed.
Please wrap up your thoughts.
So my thought is that the government it is not about the party now. Let's not talk about the party. The party has nothing to do with the bad governance. The bad governance is the person's mindset and how he understood the leadership of the country. So let the leader go back to the source and then correct what has went wrong. That is just my take. It is not about the source of the party. It's not about the party. It's about the people.
All right. Thank you, and have yourself a great day. You were saying something. Let me wrap up what you were saying, and you were making a point, of course.
Yeah, I was talking about the economic inflation that started in Nigeria since during the 80s. It has caused so many tangible issues in terms of managing the leaders, the leaders' status quo in terms of their administration, by giving them financially backup and whatsoever. Just take a look and see the reason of collecting the loans from the international communities. Nigeria, we have so many things on ground, we have so many resources, we have so many things that we can help the nation. But because of the inflation that have been started during 80s, and we have not make a sacrifice to the nation to come back and face the nation and do it in a communist way, not to by buying jets or buying so many luxurious things for the president. We just continue with that. That's what even caused we have to go to outside the country and started borrowing loan since we have already entered inside economic inflation. But that is not the main point. The main point is that today that Nigeria, we are facing all this kind of inflation and whatsoever. The Nigerian leaders, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, both the executive office, governors and president, judiciary and whatsoever, supposed to come together and face the inflation rate together, as it happened in Burkina Faso during Thomas Sankara's time. As a president, cut off the AC, cut off the luxurious car, cut off any luxurious thing that has started coming. Before the people of Nigeria started protesting, they have not started protesting after removal of the subsidy. They have not started protesting after inflation rate. They just started protesting after the president has already allocated, I think, almost 20 billion naira to the vice president office to be built. The president approved money of the private jet, the yacht and whatsoever, giving the Senate money to buy cars, almost 400 something millions of money or billions of money. So that have already protested. That's made Nigerians too aggressive, and they started vocalizing their voice in terms of media.
Sorry, let me cut you short. You are making an emphasis that the president is trying to fix the economy, which of course
he's trying. He
is trying to fix. Now you mentioned approving 90 billion naira for Hajj. You talked about the renovation of the vice president residence, and you also talked about the private jet. Now let me ask, to your thoughts, which you think that the president is trying to address the dead economy, what economic impact did this approval of 90 billion naira for Hajj and billions of naira for the renovation of the vice president's residence and so on and so on, what economic value did it add to Nigerian economy?
So when you are trying to make balance, but let me cut you. I'm not talking about Hajj. I'm talking about yacht, the yacht that the presidential yacht that is going to use I think boat that is going to use on water. I'm talking about when you're talking about economy and you are leading people in a critical situation. I know Nigeria is a wealthy country that we can afford all this, but in time that the poor people are crying, as a leader who have a listening ears of the masses, you have to listen to them and you have to make some sacrifice, because I know Nigeria is a very, very wealthy country that have managed so many things. There are so many things that the president can automatically use, not in order to be approving no and this, because the voice of the people, I'm talking about the people, not because of the presidency. You have the people. In order for you to listen to the people, you don't have to swing into luxury life and whatsoever. Once you swing into luxury life, you have just make an effort for people to started vocalizing their voice in terms of your admin. If you approve this for that, this billion, you had to approve them in so many places that you didn't even care about the luxurious things or spending of the presidency. You can just jeopardize it and just focus on building the economy. All right,
I will come back to you shortly. Mr. Danjuma, you just saw the headline I read out from the New Telegraph newspaper, where Bode is saying that Nigerians need to know the truth. Are we back to paying subsidy? Because you made mention of the economy being dead even before the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and it doesn't take 1 year. 1 year is not enough to fix those things. And now, since the removal of the fuel subsidy, it's been burden upon Nigerian. We haven't seen what it has really improved in. What do you think? Do you think this government is being sincere about this fuel subsidy removal?
this government is very sincere about fuel subsidy removal. When you talked about Mr. Bode George, yes, Mr. Bode George is a father, but we know him to be someone who talks on two sides of the divide. And I don't take people like that serious. Now, this government has done everything humanly possible, but we should also not forget that Nigerians are very sentimental and very emotional when it comes to national issues. And that's why one thing I appreciate this government for is, Mr. President, this week also set up 6-man team, where 6-man team, where each of them will have to engage their senatorial, their zones, that's the geopolitical zones, and interact with the people and bring feedbacks to the government. Let people know what government is actually doing, which is what people did not know before now. When you hold information from people, they tend to react negatively or positively because they don't even know what is really happening. And I think one thing we should appreciate this administration for is being willing to speak to the people, letting people know what this government is doing. See, Nigeria is doing excellently well. I was one person when President Muhammadu Buhari decided to say he was going to cut down.
Did you say Nigeria is doing excellently well amid the fact that a lot of families can barely afford 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2?
Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
And you said we all know that we practice a democratic government in Nigeria. The people that the people that voted you in there to serve them are saying that these policies you're taking is not okay by us. It's haunting us, and you're saying the government is listening. I was
going somewhere. Okay. Now I put it to you: even if you sell fuel at 20 naira, 2 naira per liter, some Nigerians will still go hungry. And why is this a simple? If you don't have anything doing, you don't earn a living at the end of the day. So Nigerians should look for what to do with their hands. Government is not going to put food on everybody's table. It's not done anywhere. Even in the US, you have destitute. You have people who sleep on the streets. So we shouldn't make it look as if because we have government, every Nigerian should just go and sleep and wake up and there's food on their table. No, you have to do something. Now, is this government creating this enabling environment? Yes. I talked about my state. The government has created an enabling environment. As of this week, a new cement company came into operation, which is going to create employment for people, and even the locals around. There's going to be market
Danjuma,
and the rest of them.
You said creating a conducive environment
for businesses to strive. Okay, government cannot employ everybody.
Now we know that what led to this hunger, this protest, is basically hunger. People are hungry. People cannot feed. Now, if you're saying the government creating enabling environments where people can no longer farm, because we know that what contributed to hunger is the fact that people are unable to farm. People couldn't go to farm due to insecurity.
Now, the insecurity you talked about.
I'll have to hold you there. Let's come back to you after this caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Nathaniel from Kogi State.
Nathaniel from Kogi State. You have just 60 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I can even say wow to your people at the studio for what they are saying. Are they really in this country?
Okay.
That's my number one question. Don't they have family? They are the only one. In the studio, they're saying all this, all based on what they have in their pocket there. We Nigerians are compared that nobody said Tinubu should leave the country. Nobody said Tinubu should not be the president. But what we are saying is that hunger is in the land. You have extended family from one point to another. Now he even mentioned Kogi State, that the governor of Kogi State is even doing well. Can he please tell us what the governor of Kogi State has done? Based on what they have said, he said that the money has been triple given to him. To mention what they are based on the salary that he's paying. Or what? People are suffering. We are complaining that put things in order. Nobody says you should leave the presidency. Nobody says you should do this. But they are not very sensitive to what is going on in this country. Now, when somebody says an hungry man is an angry man, what do you expect? When somebody is hungry, where do you want it to go and get? The 70%, 70,000 naira they pay. How much can you do based on the family of 4, paying school fees, paying housing and other things? What do you expect from them? And you are there sitting there complaining that the president did this or the president did this or the subsidy that they said they removed. Before Buhari came, he said they laid down the road, saying that, oh, this is what they are saying, this is what they can be, this is what can be done for the fuel to be so amount. Let them display everything for us that, okay, this is what they are exporting, this is what they are doing, this and this. Then let's see that, okay, if truly subsidy has been removed, please, posterity will judge everyone that says the wrong thing against Nigerian people.
All right.
Please, we should all be careful what we are saying. Sitting at the studio now, be saying things that are not right, getting people angry more and more. For Christ's sake, please.
All right.
We should be careful what we are saying.
Thank you for your contribution and have yourself a great day.
Now, I will react to Mr. Nathaniel. If you dig deep, you understand that Mr. Nathaniel should be one of the SDP supporters because you know them as hungry and people who are always going out for people who are speaking. I'm driving somewhere. Who are speaking? Who I'm coming? Who are speaking the truth? Now, you can't curse a land and expect it to give you good fortune. In the words of my wife, we have no other country than Nigeria. We have to believe in this country. We have to believe in this government. We have to believe that Nigeria can be better. I have family members. I work. I eat. You don't expect. See, it's not done anywhere in the world that government is even in the developed nations. Government don't take your bills. There's a level to which you also have to work. Now he's talking about Kogi State. I'm happy he said that. Is it because they are paying salary? I could remember the same people were complaining that there were no salaries. Now they are paying salaries. They are now saying, is it because they are paying salaries? So what do you think Nigerians really want? I talked about Nigerians being too emotional and being sentimental. We don't look at issues. Rome was not built in one day. If you're trying to build, if you're trying to renovate a building that is dilapidated already, and you already started digging foundation and trying to reinforce the foundation, it will not show yet. It's until you begin to put the blocks on it that it begins to show that you are going somewhere. What we are doing now, what this administration is doing now, is trying to put country Nigeria on a stable pedestal, whereby every other policy of government will begin to drive. Are we doing better than we started before? Yes. See, I put it to Nigerians. If immediately after Goodluck Jonathan's administration, we had the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, won't have this issue. And if Goodluck Jonathan was able to take some decisive steps and was able to have the political will to drive them through, look at if subsidy removal was maintained in 2012, by now it would have materialized, everything would have stabilized by now. But Jonathan was the person that when Nigerians came out and started, without even looking at the good in it, sometimes as a father, you take some drastic decisions that might not go down well with your people, but because you know the end will be better, you stand by it and drive it through. Jonathan did not have it. This administration, the president does, and the president is driving somewhere. See, the question is not the federal government. We have 3 tiers of government. We have the federal, the state, and the local government. This administration has been able to stabilize it and make sure that we now have local government autonomies whereby resources meant for local government will no more go into joint account with the state government. We'll go directly to local government chairman, and local government, we remember what local government chairman were doing in the 80s and in the early 90s. They were doing excellently well. They were doing roads, they were doing rural electrification and doing backbone water and the rest of them, building schools and building health centers, which was no more, which disappeared in the event of this return to democracy in 1999 by the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. So when I say Nigeria is on the path of growth, I'm seeing into the future. I'm not seeing the problems now. I'm looking at the future of this country. If we continue on this pedestrian, Nigeria will be better for it. We should be asking our governors, what are they doing? The man, if he's in Lokoja, he should go to the road between Zone 8 and the bypass to Kaba. What is happening there? The road between Obajana, the road between Ganaja Junction and Ganaja Village, what is happening there? Another road project going on in the state. The state is becoming safer and more peaceful than it was before now.
All right, before you tell us more, let's quickly hear from this caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, this is Akim calling from Lagos.
Akim from Lagos, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello to your analyst there. So, my own contribution is just this. The truth of the matter is that, number one, the fact is that people are actually angry because there is things are very, very expensive. And we are not actually saying that Mr. President is following the wrong things. No. You understand? It's understandable that before Mr. President came to power, so many things have been deteriorated. That's the fact. So anyone who doesn't want to look at that angle is just selfish. Okay. It's a fact. Everything has deteriorated. It's trying to ameliorate things back. But the problem I see with the executive or the government is that whether the handlers or whoever that are contributing to the problem, I don't know. You see, issue of redistributing the money from subsidy or whatever the government is using to push in the effect of the removal of subsidy, you know, even though the plan is very good, but the execution is very bad. Example, issue of giving the people money Look, in this country, we are Nigerians. Even that Mr. Daniel that is sitting there and the other guy here, we all know what is there. We are Nigerians. Saying that you are sharing money to Nigerians, I'm so sorry. Mr. President means well, but the distribution does not reach the people. That's not the fact. Look, if this money actually reached the people the way it's supposed to reach the people, you know, the rate of crime or, anger will not be that high. So many are hijacking it. Can they account to this? Can they open any portal to us so that we can go as youth of Nigeria to go and be checking from local government to local government? These are the kind of people that receive this thing. So please let us not be wasting our time. They should stop that kind of distribution of money because it's a waste of time. But Mr. President, anyone who is criticizing is just a selfish human being. The man is trying his best. What Mr. Daniel said that is that our anger, we should rechannel it to the state governors and to the local government. Thank God the autonomy now has been stopped back to the local government. Let's see the best they can do because development starts from the local government. So all these protesters, whatever are calling for protest, if they want to do it more, I'm not against that, but they should start from the local government, down to the state government, and whatever is for the federal government, they should take it for him. But nobody should be calling for overthrow of government because they are looking for trouble. That's just the fact. So, Mr. President, you should look at his own side as well. That's all. God bless Nigeria. Thank you. Bless
Nigerian too. Have yourself a great day. But let me ask something. We know that now you said it is very good of the government president to take a bold step by removing the fuel subsidy. But the question a lot of Nigerians are asking, what alternative measure was put in place? Let me give you a typical example. You have an exam to write. Of course, you know that you have an exam to write, and you ought to make some preparation, like reading your books, taking your, just doing researches and all that. Now, the most recent one is about the federal government saying that the rice, 50 kg rice, was subsidized to 40,000 naira. But Nigerians are saying where, because we can't even get through it. Where is the rice sold for 40,000 naira? It can't get through a lot of people, the ordinary Nigerians out there, because it is one thing to make a provision, and it's another thing for the provision which you've made to get to the right people. Nigerians keep crying day in, day out. These provisions are not getting to us. So what do you think is the way forward? Now,
I always say this. Nigerians don't hate corruption. What Nigerian hates is when they are not benefiting directly from corruption.
Okay.
Yes. Now, Mr. President, that's why we have what we call division of labor. Mr. President gave an instruction through the ministers of, I think, Minister of Agric, or through the Minister of, we don't have a Minister of Humanitarian now because of what happened to Obete. Now, for this food to be distributed to Nigerians. A Nigerian was in charge of that distribution. A Nigerian took that rice and took it to Wuse Market to sell to traders, which are also Nigerians who bought that rice and inflated the price. So will you blame Mr. President for that? Nigerians are not just being honest and being sincere. See, I'm a very progressive young man. I look at things the way it should be, notwithstanding party. I was one person, I keep saying this every time I have the opportunity to be on TV, I was one person who campaigned this on national TV that Mr. President should not be voted into government. But after the few months of Mr. President and the policies and what he has done, I myself now decamped to the APC, and I am speaking for the president because this man is doing what I expected whoever I was supporting them to do. Now, the problem is not the president. The problem is us Nigerians. The same Nigerians complaining, if you give them the opportunity to have the privilege to also distribute something to their fellow Nigerians, will hoard it and will not want to give the president the bad name. It's not the president. Now, we should ask this question. What I expected people should be asking was, Mr. President, the person you gave this assignment to did not do what you did. I think the president should give us more lifelines where we can reach directly to government and tell government that those you are sending to actually give this into us are not. Like for my state, I still repeat, in several months of this administration of Ahmed Usman Ododo, he has done palliative 3 times, every 3 months. And this palliative has for the first time gotten to the masses because he followed through to make sure that this thing gets to the people. So this is what I'm saying. It is not the president, it is not the policy who are the drivers and implementers of those policies. They are Nigerians who are supposed to implement them for Nigerians. So we should be holding those people accountable, not the president.
All right, Masha, let me come to you. Do you think this government is being sincere enough to its citizens? Because like I rightly said to him, in the course of the protest, Mr. President said that some set of rices will be distributed to Nigerians for a subsidized rate at 40,000 naira. But even myself has been asking, please, where at least can I get the 40,000 naira? Nobody knows where. So who do you think we should blame for that? Okay, does the president ask the people, the duty I have assigned you to give me feedback, give me a report?
And so I think as a journalist, you have to investigate well. Because I think the starting point of the rice price, I think it started from the civil servant and next is going to the masses. Now, if you go to the government, just ask your friends that are working in government agencies, or maybe someone can call through the phone. Maybe he can make
We have a headline here that says that the government has taken back the subsidized rice. I think, let me get a headline that talks about that. Or maybe if you know where the rice is being sold for 40,000 naira, you should.
I don't know actually.
Tell us.
I don't know actually, but I know that the civil servants are the ones started benefiting from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Do you know anybody who has benefited?
Me, I don't know any official by now that say you have benefited, but I have already heard that it is going to start it through the civil servants.
And do you have a friend who is a civil servant?
Yeah, I do have a friend.
So have you called them to ask?
Not yet.
Have you benefited?
Not yet.
No, because you said I should do an investigation, and I believe.
Yes, as a John, I can make it after the interview.
Okay.
I can make it the process so that I can go and make my assignment. I can give you an answer maybe in the next interview. But what I'm talking about is that in terms of sharing palliatives in government. Since after President Asuwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been inaugurated into office, he has been making so many distributions of palliatives to the governor, as my brother said. Even before the protest, I think governors have been sent. Many food items have been sent to governors, and the governor, even my state in Kano, where the protest has taken place in Kano, my governor, the NNPP governor, engineer Abba Kabli Yusuf, has shared it not even at one time. He has shared it many times to the people and the poor people. So I know that in terms of palliative, it has already been given, but I don't know in terms of this 40,000 rice. I only know that it is going first. It started by the civil servant. That's what I actually know.
All right. Before we move on to the other stories, let's quickly hear from this caller. Good morning.
Hello.
You might have to call us back, and please, when you turn down the volume of your TV set.
My phone is down.
All right. Please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you.
It's completely down.
All right. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Please, I'm coming from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
I am concerned about what they are saying there. You see, this man, Danjuma, Danjuma was saying something like he was in a different party. He campaigned against Tinubu coming to power, and now he has defected to APC. You see, when you see people talk like this, you were in a different party. The natural thing was for you to campaign against the other party. You can't tell me that you've been in a different party and campaign for Tinubu. So you campaigned against Tinubu because you were in a different party. But when it didn't favor you, your party did not win. You simply defected to APC because you are looking for what you can gain. You come on air and be telling us this kind of things. You think that Nigerians are stupid? I don't understand these people. You're there defending something you don't know. The other man is talking about the rice having been distributed, civil servants got it. Now you ask him, do you know anybody? He doesn't know. You're talking about something you're not sure of, you don't know anything about, and you come on air in front of the whole masses and you're making this kind of statements. Why don't you be sure of what you're saying? If we are the ones saying this thing now, we would have been arrested for saying things that we don't know anything about. But look at you, the defending government. All the country is saying is that the policies are not favoring the masses. There are ways that the policies could have been implemented without this hardship. They would have done this. This same president protested against this same removal of subsidy. Have you forgotten he was among those that protested, and now he came into power and removed it like that? He could have reasoned, consulted widely, and know how to remove this thing in such a way that it will not affect the country the way it's affecting the country right now. And you're there talking about palliative rights. If he wanted to distribute rights to the masses, did you know how to do it? You're telling me that he gave it to some people. Who are the people? We have chiefs. He could have given it to the kings and chiefs, and then the people will know who to hold. And look at the way you're talking about it. Please, I'm fed up with people like this. Bring some people better than this.
You have to be mindful of the word you use on air. Thank you for calling, and do have yourself a great day. Your points are kindly noted. Thank you. All right, I think we've spent so much on this protest. Let's move on to the insecurity matters. I have a headline here that said about the invasion of the NLC headquarters, and DSS has come out to say that, has denied that they invaded NLC headquarters. Now, my question is, I've heard some person say that when it comes to the security aspect, the president is doing his best. With this, what can we say about our security bodies and the insecurity as a whole in Nigeria? Let me hear from you, Danjuma.
Before now, we don't even know yet, up to this minute, which of the security agency actually invaded the NLC headquarters.
Okay, I think I've seen the headline. It said, MLC raises alarm over headquarters raid by security operatives, and DSS has come out to say, we are not involved. So, who do we hold accountable?
For now, what NLC would have done, there's camera everywhere. Maybe we would have been able to have a picture of one of the personnel from their uniform, might be able to have known which of the agency.
But do you think with a thing like this that the security agencies are actually doing enough? And are we actually getting back to normal state where people can move freely, knowing that security is guaranteed?
Now, you know, Nigerians are quick to, like the last caller, are very emotional and quick to throw words and throw blames and aspiration on people. We already know the issue between NLC and the Labour Party arm of NLC. It has been a front and back thing, power tussle. I will do this, I will do that, I will intimidate you with this and all that. Now, this is a power play playing out there at the end of the day. I think what we should just advise is our security agencies should be more professional in carrying out their duty. Not every complaint you just react. You should be able to do due diligence and be sure that what the complainer is saying is actually saying the truth that needs your presence. And also people should be ready to honor invitations from security agencies. Not that when you are invited to come, you don't come, and when they decide to take it upon themselves to come to you, you now run to the media and want to paint them in a bad light. That I will not want to support. So we should know what really played out. Was there an invitation? Did anybody run foul of the law? And by then we'll now be able to take a stand on what really.
All right, I'll come back to you, Masha. But before then, let me hear from this caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Glad to have you join us this morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, I'm Mohammed calling from Abuja.
Mohammed from Abuja, please go ahead.
Yes, we wanted to make the contribution on the first issue before we move into second.
Okay.
But I don't know if you permit me to even throw small light on the first one.
Oh, please go ahead.
You know, sometimes we Nigerians, we don't look into left and right before we jump into conclusion.
Okay.
Actually, Mr. President is working around the clock to see things are normal in Nigeria. But we have known from history that Nigerians, we are full of kaba. Corruption has overwhelmed all our bone marrow. At every given time, everybody wants to seize the opportunity to loot. To start with, the governors are one of the major problems in Nigeria. But not all the governors. You can go around and see. When we talk about the palliative we're talking about, my local government, nothing get to my nothing. All the food they are sending, it will still go back to the party people hand.
All right.
And they will store the remaining one and give it to their faithful and their loyalists.
Okay.
That as that. Secondly, security. If a Russian flag now is flag hot, and the NIA has been deployed out down to the Niger and everywhere, and they are getting people arrested, how can Abuja hear? I
hangmen we face in NFC office, Secretariat, and there's no camera, nothing to dictate to bring them back in Abuja. If there is someone who be in the come and pick him. Now, what we are saying is that if this Kaba,
please round up with your thoughts.
President should please and please. This is the cry of the Nigerians. This is the cry of the Nigerians. Why that is the aim of the protest. So that when Obasanjo, former president, General Olusegun Obasanjo, there's a line he put.
I'm sorry, you might have to call us back. Mashallah, let me hear your thoughts about the security, insecurity in Nigeria and how you think if we are getting better or not. With what played out between the NLC and the DSS has come out to say we are not involved. So
DSS are intelligent officers that they can go through their work, and they know how to work, and they know how to make process of the security. But when we are talking about national security in terms of the nation, we have to realize that if you look at before the country, how is that the country have been having paralyzed, have been dilapidated in some part of the country. If you look at how Boko Harams operate in the northeast of Nigeria, and you look how the bandits operate in the northwest of Nigeria, and you look at how the this TV and so ever crisis, just Plateau crisis whatsoever. Today, if you are going to give President Asiwaju credit, you have to give him 60% of credit in terms of 100 or 70, because he have been trying his best. He have sent soldiers to the barracks, not as before you would see soldiers in the convoy of the president, even though they still are, but he has still controlled that mandate, and he has put it in the channel that it's supposed to be. Soldiers are working, police are working, DSS are working, the BIO road safety. You go to Abuja, check how the streets are, even with the support of this current honorable minister of FCT, Nessa Muki. We have all seen how the security operators have been. Before, I think I saw it even in the headlines of the newspapers that here, even inside Abuja, inside the city of Abuja, there are some red flags alert that some insecurity reports have been established in Abuja. But before you know it, in few of some weeks and some months, they have already tackled it. Every place that the security have been done, they have already multiplied, they have already times the security there, and we have already seen it. Nigerians have seen it. Just look at today. Look at how people are operating within the country. Look at this protest that take over, even with the protests and how people have vandalized properties of people. But still, the insecurity is still lower than before. That anytime you on the TV station, you will just see a headline that something has happened, something there, something here, something here. But now, I could not say that it has gone. Automatically it has gone, but we have to give the president credit of tackling the issues. All right,
gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. We have to round up because our time is fast spent. But before we go, when we talk about nation building, we all know that nation building is not just one man's job. It's not just about the president. It's a collective effort. When you talk about the government playing their role, and of course the masses and individuals playing their role. Now this headline has 700 billion naira paid as bribe in 2023. This is coming from ICPC's chairman. And over the times, one thing Nigerian people, or we always say that Nigeria hasn't been able to get over, is corruption. Do you think we are going to make headway? Is corruption ever going to leave Nigeria? Let me start from you.
You remember I just said here not a few minutes ago that Nigerians don't hate corruption. They only complain when they are not benefiting directly from it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I want Nigerians to know one thing. We should stop being emotional and being sentimental. When I'm not in tune with you, you stand to insult me or use derogatory words because I'm not saying what you want to hear. I can't, no matter how bad it is, or the quarrel I have with my brother, I can't set my father's house on fire.
But how do we fight corruption?
Because if I set my father's house on fire, we are going to lose all. And that's what Nigerians want, and we are not going to go that way. Now, when it comes to the issue of corruption, the issue of corruption is simple. We can fight corruption if we want to fight corruption. And fighting corruption is not just about the government or the government agency. It's about us as a person. Are we ready to live within our means? Are we ready to they say there's this word that says there's dignity in labor. Are we ready to be proud of what we do? Are we ready to be able to show the world that this is what I do, I'm a carpenter, and this is what I've been able to do for my carpentry workshop? Or because people don't respect you, you will find out that the way you dress most time in this country is the way you go to the market, the way you dress is the way they give you the price for what you want to buy. So it's a systematic thing, it's something that we have to tell ourselves the honest truth and sit down and tell ourselves this time around We need to do the right thing. Money that is meant for people should get to the people. Somebody was talking of his local government. He didn't mention it. I don't know what local government is come from. But for my own local government, the TC chairman, Honorable Amade Ochijenu, was so praised by all, because be you Christian, be you Muslim, be you anywhere you come from, he doesn't care about party line. He shared all that got to him to the people. So we should be able to tell people the truth. We shouldn't be painting the wrong picture about our country all the time we have an opportunity, or about our state, or about our leaders. By so doing, we'll be able to crop corruption and fight corruption to headlong. Ask the right question, ask people who are in position of authority what they are doing with the resources in their hands, and be sincere about it, and Nigeria will overcome corruption.
All right, mashallah, in just few minutes, how do we overcome corruption? How do we fight corruption as a nation?
Let me quote J.F. Kennedy's word that he actually said during his slogan, during his campaign, that he said, don't ask for what your country will do for you. Ask for what your country will do for you. And again, let me quote it from the Hitler after the First World War, when he was mobilizing for the Nazi party. He said, glory for the Germans is for the Germans. People must put it in their mind that this country is ours collectively. We must have nationalism and patriotism. We must put our hands together in order to promote the country and to develop the nation. We must look for ways, sensitive ways, that each individual of Nigeria can contribute to the economy and to contribute in fighting corruption. Look at so many countries and look at so many corruption agencies that they have promoted themselves and they have tackled corruption. They tackle it by their mindset, by their inspiration, by thinking of how the country is going to move forward, not thinking of what I will get and what my family will get, no, what this one will get or whatsoever. Put it in a way, in an excellent way, in an objective way, in order that if today in Nigeria we are forming a structural building for the nation, we had to put our hands together. Everybody can contribute. Not we're saying this is a government project, it's only government that can put herself into that project, is a government money. Believe that the government money is ours. Believe that the nation is ours. As a carpenter, as my brother say, contribute. As a doctor, contribute. Don't engage in corruption. As a police, don't engage in corruption. As any agent or a bricklayer or whatsoever, contribute to your country. By this way, if the masses and the leaders are going to put their hands together and put the country first in their mind and the agenda of building the country, I think we have automatically eradicate corruption. All
right, thank you, gentlemen, for coming. I really do appreciate your presence this morning with me in the studio. Thank you very much for coming. And at this point, this is where we draw the curtain for today's episode on The Press. And thank you, viewers. And for those of you that I wasn't able to take your call, my apologies. Some other time, I believe you'll be lucky to air your opinion or contribution. And at this point, this is where we come to the end of today's show, and until I come your way some other time. But before we go, nation building is a collective effort. While the federal government is expected to do theirs, we individuals are also expected to do that which is needed of us. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am Emelite. Keep watching KAFTAN TV. Bye.